Hi friends, Itheria here. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 productive ways you can spend your time in-game while waiting for the queue to pop. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with just watching YouTube, but the suggestions I'll share in this video have value because they will either save you time in the future or they have worthwhile rewards. That said, let's get started. My first suggestion is to gather materials on Island Sanctuary such as Island Laver or Island Sap. Island Laver seems to be a popular ingredient needed every single week, and I can sit all of my granaries on it all week long and still never have enough. It's irritating to have to gather them myself, but what else can I do? So it's a great idea to gather any materials you are low on the island during queue so that you don't have to waste your time on it later. And talking about gathering on the island gave me another brilliant idea. Gathering and crafting in general. Both of these can bring you some cash or materials you need to craft things that you want for yourself. If you're unsure about what to gather or craft, I would suggest doing a little market research using websites like Universalis or Saddlebag Exchange. The latter even has a search function that can show you the best-selling furnishing items. For gathering, you can filter your search by materials even down to the material type. Another reason to gather while you queue is to fill out your logs. This way, if you have a retainer that is a gatherer, you'll have a wider variety of ventures you can assign to them. You can actually make a solid income just sending your retainer out for materials and then selling them on the market board. But if you have not gathered something, then your retainer can't get it either. So it's definitely worthwhile to spend your queue time completing those logs. Moving on, my next suggestion is doing fates, specifically those in Shadowbringers and Endwalker, because completion of them rewards you with bicolor gemstones. The bicolor gemstones are the main reason to do this, as they can be used for a variety of desirable items such as crafting materials, orchestrion rolls, furnishings, glamour, and even minions. Some items also don't become available until you have capped your shared fates for a particular region, so that's just one more reason to farm this during queue. Fates will also provide EXP for any jobs you're leveling, and if you do enough of them, you'll also get an EXP bonus through the weekly challenges log, so be sure to do your 5th and 10th fates on the jobs you want EXP on the most. Speaking of leveling, Beast Tribe quests are a fantastic way to do so, as they often give a pretty sizable chunk of EXP upon completion. Another reason to complete Beast Tribe quests is because they offer cool rewards like materia, dyes, glam, housing items, mounts, and emotes. Pre-Shadowbringers, maxing out each tribe also allows you to do an allied tribe quest for even more rewards, like the gratuity emote, for example. You can do up to 12 Beast Tribe quests per day, and it typically takes 10 minutes or less to complete 3 quests from a tribe. It's so worthwhile and a great way to spend your time while waiting for the queue to pop. Going along with the leveling theme still, let's talk about Levequests. Levequests are an easy way to level battle, crafter, and gatherer jobs. For the latter two, you can often just buy stuff on the market board to turn in, so if you hate crafting as much as I do, you can level up without having to actually do that much crafting at all. Levequests can also be used to make money. Once upon a time, you could just make coffee biscuits and turn them in. Now, it takes a bit more effort on your part. You will need to do the math yourself. Find something that is being sold for cheap on the market board, especially if it's high quality, and then turn it in and reap the profit. Sitting there constantly clicking is pretty boring, but what else do you have to do while you queue? Alright, on to my 6th suggestion, hunt marks. You guys know how much I love hunt trains, but unfortunately you can't really do trains while you queue, as hunt trains require you to be in a party. However, you can do overworld hunt marks. There are different types of seals you can get depending on what expansion you're hunting in, and of course, different types of rewards such as minions, mounts, furnishings, and more. I would suggest checking out the rewards for each expansion and seeing what you want. Lots of people like to hunt for Centurio seals because with them you can buy Aetheryte tickets and save a lot of money on teleportation. Speaking of hunting mobs, if you're interested in playing Blue Mage, there are a number of mobs in the overworld that drop Blue Mage spells. So if you don't have them all, you can farm them while waiting for queue. There are lots of guides online for where to get each spell. My next idea is to hit up the Golden Saucer. Unfortunately, you can't do any of the gates or your queue will stop, but you can do the mini Cactpot or any of the other mini games. If you're farming MGP, you're going to want to complete as much of the weekly log as you can, and doing mini games is part of that. Speaking of the Gold Saucer, collecting all of the triple Triad cards up to, I think, Shadowbringers will get you a cute little flying card mount. So you can play triple Triad with the NPCs in the Gold Saucer or in the overworld to work on your collection while you wait for queue. Finally, my 10th and last idea is to practice your rotation. Lots of players are interested in doing higher difficulty content like extremes or even savages, but they often feel hesitant for many reasons, and one of them is often a lack of experience and skill level. Therefore, you can take that extra time waiting for queue to visit resources like The Balance or YouTube, figure out what your rotation should be, and test it out on a training dummy. You can start to build muscle memory for this rotation so that once you're in encounters that require you to dodge mechanics, it'll be a lot less overwhelming since you've built up that memory of where your buttons are and what to hit next. And there you go. Those are all of my suggestions for what to do while waiting for queue if you're feeling productive. I hope these were helpful to you. Let me know what you usually do while you wait for queue in the comments below. As always, please leave a sacrifice for Lord Algorithm in the form of a like, comment, share, or subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!